My first morning show. And this morning we have a special guest, guys. Hey, Juan, where's my notes? Hold on a sec. Yeah, we have a very special guest. We have a comedian, another comedian on board here on Station Head, Mr. Lucky Luciano. And he's a really funny comedian, actually. We're going to bring him up and we'll have him listen to his intro. Hold on a sec. Let's get him up here.
Tony, what's up?
Lucky, what's up?
How you doing, man? How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing this morning? What's the weather looking like over there?
Cloudy and rainy today again in Chicago.
That's funny. It's like that out here too. LA is cloudy and it's raining today.
Don't complain to me about LA weather, man. You guys got it good out there.
We sure do.
At least now you have something to talk about. Ooh, it's cloudy, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, people have been out here on the beach the last couple of days, and it's been kind of like pissing me off that they've been going back to having fun, and I'm social distancing.
Me too. I haven't left my house, man. I've been in my fortress of solitude.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't need to go out yet till the cadavers stop falling, man.
Right? All right, well, hold on one sec. I'm going to do your intro real quick so you can listen to it.
Okay, cool.
All right, everybody. This man has been in comedy for over 10 years. Started from the bottom. When I say the bottom, I mean he started from graduating Second City, which really isn't the bottom, guys. That's like the number one place in the world, honestly. Second City's where it's at. So he graduated Second City. He's got his own Laugh Factory channel. He's performed on TBS Just for Laughs and has been all over Chicago at some of the Zanies and Riddles, all Chicago staple comedy and just staple comedy, and across the world. Let me introduce to you guys Mr. Lucky Luciano. Lucky
hello.
Luciano. Hold on, Juan. What happened? We're supposed to have clap for you. Juan missed it.
He missed that one.
He missed it. So let's do it again. Lucky Luciano.
What up? Hello, everyone.
Damn, it's still not working. Oh, here we go. Lucky Luciano.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
There we go. Lucky Luciano. All right, man. So since Juan's already messed up for the day, let's just jump right into it, man. Like, all right, you've been married, right? Mm-hmm. How long you been married?
I mean, my wife and I have been together since December of 1981. So before you were born and most of your listeners.
Well, I mean, I've been married twice, so and I'm younger, and you seem to make it work. This is a question I have just for a fan wanting to know. Do you have any PTSD from being married for so long, such as psychological, being beat up, getting spit on, and so forth?
Ooh, you know what? The only way you could survive a marriage this long is if you both treat each other nicely without any spitting, scratching, fighting, yelling, cursing, name calling, or anything like that. That being said, you're asking me if I have PTSD. I mean, I do flinch every time my wife calls my name. I don't know if that's it.
That counts.
That counts, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry. I think after all this is going on, everybody's gonna have PTSD.
Yeah, that's pretty dead on the mark. Everybody's gonna know what it's like to have PTSD. You're gonna hear a song maybe, and it'll send you right back to when you were stuck in your room during this, and it was a bad time, and then it's in your mind forever.
Right, right. I mean, it becomes important where everybody's space is at right now, right? Because that's where you're locked up. Some people are locked up in a studio apartment. Some people are in a house, you know. So thankfully, you know, I got a backyard that I could at least step out into without, you know, seeing any other people.
Yeah, that's a plus. That's a plus right now. You marry. You also have a brother, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
An older brother.
you're the younger.
He's a twin, my twin brother. Yeah, he's my twin brother.
How far apart are you guys?
10 months.
So you guys are
That's when you know your dad is a beast, you know, when your dad doesn't follow the advice of the American Medical Association, you know, and wait 40 days before going back in there.
yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
yeah, right. He's a monster. So now you're Irish twins, apparently.
Right, right. We're more like Latin twins. We're the same age for about 2 months out of the year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's funny. Yo, so I'm an older brother, right? And my younger brother, so I'm the one that was born with the good looks, and I'm taller, and I still have all my hair. But my younger brother is way smarter than me, like without a doubt. He's verbally superior, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. With you and your brother, how does your dynamic work out?
My brother was born like with the body of Atlas. He was always like the physical specimen, and I was his chubby sidekick, you know. And that's the way it kind of it kind of always was. However, my wit was way sharper than his, and he was always unarmed when it came to like verbal jabs or jokes. I mean,
Yeah,
so he had strength and I had mental power.
yeah,
So it's like Pinky and the Brain.
that's me and my brother for sure, right there. So there's a connection right there with us, man. That's awesome. Um, let's see, you before you started doing comedy, you were doing sales, or are you still doing sales too with comedy?
Yeah, that's kind of. I still do my day job. I sell to the hospitality industry fabric for hotel rooms, you know, like drapery and upholstery and bedding type stuff. So I work with a lot of architectural and design firms around the country, you know.
How's that working out right now?
Well, right now, 80% of all the hotel rooms in the United States are empty, so not so good.
Yeah, dude, they're talking about putting the homeless people into the empty hotels.
Nice, into the Ritz Carlton, right? Like, look how we're living now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll all change. I mean, if they find a cure, everything will change quickly.
Yeah, very
And everyone
quickly.
will go back to normal, not washing their hands.
Right? Digging in their butt, making food for you.
We don't need to wash your hands. You know, I was on the road and I just happened to peek back at the McDonald's with this guy making my sandwich, and he literally put his hands on everything, no gloves, right?
Right.
So they gave me the bag, and I said, "No, I don't want that.
No.
Give my money back."
Yeah, that's just
And
nasty.
they're looking at me and like, "Yeah," and that was before Corona.
Oh,
So now they say they're cleaning and washing their hands. It's like, yeah, okay, I believe you.
yeah, man. I stopped going to fast food restaurants just because they're not going to change. They still getting paid the same minimum wage. So
Right, right. You know, I've been cooking a lot at home, you know, so you know, you could be creative or you could just be lazy, you know. So I'm trying to eat good and not gain 1,000 pounds while I'm staying at home.
yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I've been trying to do the same thing. Taking vitamins. I take vitamins. Intern Juan is laughing at me, but I take vitamins and every day, and eat veggies,
Really?
like raw vegetables every day. Like it helps.
Nice, nice. I'm going a different route. I smoke weed.
Well, on that subject, I wasn't sure if you smoked, but right now, this is the so what we're hearing out here in LA is that smoking weed is I got two different things. The first one I heard was smoking weed is worse and it causes COVID to attack the lungs, right? But then I read yesterday in the news that smoking marijuana blocks it.
And what source was that from? I always ask people, "What's your source?" You
Well,
know,
those two
you
sources
read an
were
article.
so
It could be coming out of the Kremlin for all I know. You know,
yeah, it was
a Russian bot. You know,
you got that
get
right.
this out there, right? Get all those weed smokers out. You know,
No,
I
oh
think it's safe. You know,
yeah, you're not lying. I'm always thinking that, but it was two weed magazines, so of course they would say that. But
right? They're promoting the sale of marijuana. You know, I'm not a big smoker, but lately I've been drinking a lot more wine and smoking a little bit of weed since it's legal now
right,
in Illinois, and it's helped. You know, everybody's got to have a little anxiety.
yeah, it helps, man.
You know,
I so out here
I'm trying to.
with the first story saying that it will affect COVID will affect you worse. I started using like the oil, like they sell it in a syringe
Yeah,
out
that's
here.
all. Oh, I don't know about that, but all I do is vape the oil.
Well, they sell.
That's the lesser of the evils.
They have an edible version, and it comes in. I'm not sure how I feel about it because it comes in a syringe, bro. And you squeeze the syringe, but you have to heat up the oil, and squeeze the syringe and
Nah.
get it
It
on
sounds
whatever.
like you're
Yo,
trying
it's a lot. It's a lot.
to. And then you buy a crack pipe,
Right.
and that's how you graduate.
They
You
did
know, to
graduate.
the next level.
Exactly.
Nah, man. No, I like being stuck at the gate. You know,
Yeah, I'm working on my
at the
dosage
gateway.
with this stuff because you could overdose it and just be stuck on the couch for 10 hours.
You mentioned syringe. I'm out.
Yeah, it's different, man.
Right. Everybody's trying to invent something.
Yeah,
No, man, I've just been trying to be creative while I'm here. You know, I set up a nice little media room where I can take calls or do videos, or now I'm doing like video presentations, and I did a little cooking video as well. You know, just making some
what are
dishes,
you making?
and that one was this Dominican stew that I had made that I put up on YouTube on my Lucky Luciano comedy page. Did I put it up? I don't know if I put it up yet, but I will be putting up this, 45-minute video how to make a nice Dominican stew. It's
Nice.
summertime already, so I got to come up with a summertime dish.
Oh yeah, what's the Dominican summertime dish? I know Mexico's got like ceviche.
Yeah.
Is there some variation?
I could tell you, I could probably come up with a ton of dishes, but it definitely involves plantains and avocado because that's what we like to
Got
use,
it.
So some form of plantain and some form of avocado, maybe some shrimp, you know. And I got to figure out what my summer dish is going to be.
Yeah, probably.
And right now I'm just trying to write comedy, which is one of my big things, comedy, because I'm a comedian. So, I mean, I don't know if you could really go back to just doing your normal humor after all of this and not mention this topic. But, during this whole COVID thing, I have met someone really, really nice. And it was a surprise to me. It's my wife.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's been here for over 20 years, and
Yeah, it's like getting to know this person all over again. And I think I'm going to work because most of my jokes revolve around my family and what I know. So
I'm glad you brought
really
it.
gotten to know this person.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad I've really gotten to know this person. This sounds like a keeper.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it back to family because I was going to bring this subject up with kids, right? How many kids you have?
I have 2 kids right now, if you can call them kids. My oldest daughter is 30-something, and my youngest daughter is 25.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's up there. I have 3. I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and an 8-year-old. So I was out of it, bro. I was done.
Oh man, you went back.
And then I went back.
Man.
I went back.
You pulled a Godfather Al Pacino. I thought I was out.
You're right.
They pulled me back in.
Exactly.
No
Literally.
way, man. Did you plan? Did you plan that?
Yeah,
Was that planned
well,
with
it
the
was
new
with a
wife?
different. I have two different wives, so it was a different family set of family. But um, I brought.
What are you, polygamist? What, you live in Utah?
I,
What do you mean you had two different
I'm not
wives
gonna lie.
at
Like,
the same time?
well, no, it was two different times, but I would have had two at
Okay.
once. I'm not gonna lie. I would take four or five if I could afford them.
Me too, man. I think it would have been nice to have like three or four wives. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I could have kept everybody happy. Just and it's really not. It's the comedy. Comedy is what you need to keep a woman happy.
That's right.
Believe it or not.
Got to make a laugh.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
so the kids are not in bed, by the way. You don't want to make her laugh there.
Nah.
But
Right. That's good too. That's good too.
so the kids. So my dad just had a conversation with me where he told me to buy life insurance and on him, and I laughed at it at first, but now I'm like, you know what? I should do that. And so I'm debating if I should have this conversation with my kids. Have you done any of that yet? Life insurance talk?
I mean, I have my own life insurance, so just to make sure that everyone's taken care of if something should befall me. I wouldn't want my kids getting life insurance on me because that's like cashing in on my death. I don't know how they're going to be looking at me after that,
Right.
right? Hey, Dad, we know you have asthma. Let's go for a run. You know, they know I'm allergic to peppers, and they can insist on putting it in my food. I can't be trusting people. I need to get like a food taster.
That's crazy. You're right.
That's just my kids. That's just my kids. Because.
Well, when my dad
That's
told
only
me, like, I instantly like saw a giant bag of cash, and I wanted to go make him a bunch of food and put as much butter in there as I could.
right. I don't know. I got the kind of kids that every time I buy something for myself, they start eyeballing it and putting like little post-it notes on it with names, like who's gonna get it.
Wow.
When I die, they start having arguments. No, that's mine. No, that's mine. I'm like, hey man, I ain't dead yet.
Right, he's sitting right there.
I just bought it. It's my birthday. I just got it, man. Let me enjoy it for a little while.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yes, dude. So I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna have that conversation with them just yet because they definitely are the same. They're already asking me what I have for them when I die.
Right. Yeah. One argument, and then all of a sudden it turns into a plot on your death.
Oh yeah, you're toast. Toast.
Right. You toast. We're living in an age of TikTok, man. So you can go from good to not good.
Yeah, within a matter of 3 seconds.
Yeah, my kids got me this. What do you call those life alert bracelets?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't call anybody if I fall.
Oh my gosh, yo!
It just has a little alarm that says you screwed, you screwed, you screwed.
Oh shit, that sounds about right, man. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that make me want to get into cryogenics and like just buy one of those chambers.
Right. Nah, I don't know about that. Freezing yourself. Imagine how small your junk's gonna look if they freeze you, bro. You look like the Statue of David.
Oh, you ain't lying, bro. Talk about freezer.
Statue of David. Right. Yeah, I don't know about that. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
It's just time to go, man. I guess you're right. Like Michael Jackson did it, and it didn't help him at all.
No, it doesn't help anybody. I mean, except what is it, Demolition Man?
Oh, Demolition Man, yes.
And they're working on a part 2 now. So
well, this is the time.
I bring that up.
That movie, Demolition Man, like if you watch it now, it's got a lot of stuff in it that we're dealing with today.
Right. I wish I could wipe my butt with those 3 shells, but we ain't got that.
We ain't got that. But at this point, with this virus, nobody can have sex. So what are they going to do? Like Demolition Man, they had those VR glasses, and they would put them on and have sex, right?
Right. What? I'm not supposed to have sex now during the. I might have messed up, man.
Yeah, you messed up because they found it in semen apparently.
Apparently, right?
Yeah,
What was it that
right.
dude from the Daily Show had that up? I was laughing hysterically. Apparently now you could catch venereal disease, COVID, or even feelings from sex.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
uh,
That's
I was
hilarious.
laughing. I was laughing hard on that.
But
Yes,
yeah, man. So
yeah. I don't know about that. You better know somebody really well, or just you know protect yourself.
I,
I guess if they come up with a cure, people have a short memory, man. Everyone's gonna go back to normal. You watch.
oh yeah, absolutely. Real quick. Um, but you mentioned you're Dominican.
Yeah,
Um, is there
100%.
so? All right. So out here, there's a lot of Dominicans in California,
So I hear. There's
and
not a lot in Chicago.
so I don't know if this happens there, but is there anything between Dominicans and Colombians where you guys don't mix? Or
No, we love each other, man.
okay,
We love each other. We our food is probably more similar,
hmm
believe it or not. Just speaking culturally, um, the Caribbean food is more similar to South American food. Mexico has its like own type of cuisine, and then South America and the rest of Latin America are kind of very similar, more plantain root based, not so much corn. You know, we're
oh, I got it.
plantains, they're corn. So yeah, we love the Colombians. I love their food, man. The Colombians make this little round fried cheese ball that's crunchy on the outside and doughy, cheesy in the inside, and with nooks and crannies. And I was always just amazed at how they get it so perfectly round, like a baseball, the size of a baseball.
Damn, that sounds good, man. I never had Colombian
Oh
food
man,
at all.
it's called a buñuelo, man. You eat that with coffee. Oh my God, bro. Yep,
Yeah, it's
yep.
making me hungry.
And as a matter of fact, I haven't had breakfast yet either, man. I got up early and started working right away. I was gonna get on my bike, which is what's been keeping me sane, um, in my basement. Just riding my stationary bike makes you feel like at least I'm going somewhere.
Yeah, right. In your mind, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Watching movies. I just watched The Wrong Missy.
What's that?
Oh my God, the new David Spade movie. It was hysterical, man. I really needed that kind of gratuitous laugh. And what is the name of that tall, lanky lady that plays his co-star? Her name is Lauren something or other. Let me look it up. She was probably his best This is the best comedic duo for David Spade since Farley.
Oh,
Man.
wow.
She was phenomenal.
He was really funny
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Farley.
Oh yeah, he's a great straight man, and she was like, oh my God, she was just so. This thing had me. Maybe I just needed it.
I wonder
Bro.
who it is. Who is
Wrong
that?
Missy. The Wrong Missy. It is the Wrong Missy cast. Her name is Lauren Lapkus.
Oh, let me. Hey, Juan, look that
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna have Juan look it up and see what she looks like.
Lauren Lapkus, man. She's great comedy wise, man.
Sweet.
I mean, tall, lanky. She got a great comedic figure, good physicality.
Nice. Speaking of
Oh, she also is on Orange is the New Black. She's one of the
oh,
guards.
she's one of. Oh, I see her. Yeah, I know who she is. I think she's cute.
Right. So
She's pretty
she's
cute.
very nice looking,
Mhm.
but I think her forte is comedy, man. That movie was really, really good.
I'll watch that. I'll watch it. I like David Spade, and she's fairly pretty, and I'm sure she's funny.
Yeah, it was hard. Oh, she was hysterical. And I specifically been looking for movies during this time that have no pandemic,
Yes.
no guns, right? No stabbing. No murders. I just wanted something lighthearted,
Well,
Enough with the killing. Every movie is like John Wick. I'm like, oh, I can't do a John Wick.
yeah, John Wick is so good. But you're right, man. Like at this time, like I don't want to be jaded anymore. I want to get back to basics and just just lighthearted, make people laugh, be fun.
Right.
There's enough
Right.
craziness.
I'm all murdered out.
Right.
I'm all murdered out right now.
Right.
So just something good. I thought that was good. I might watch it again. I've been watching so much TV. It's just hard to find something good to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And the only thing to watch is news mostly, and it's all bad.
Yeah.
Cashing in.
I watch a little bit of the Today Show. I watch that half hour with Lester Holt, and then maybe just Cuomo. I like watching Cuomo on TV from New York.
Oh yeah.
At least we get some good hard facts.
Yeah, I like him too.
It's our cod and my cod liver oil for the day. Take it, it's good for you.
Right.
They opened up in Wisconsin, right, against the Supreme Court. Struck down the governor's stay-at-home order, additional or extended, and they started showing people going out in Wisconsin, and I was surprised, man. The video came back, packed bars, nobody wearing a mask.
I know.
Like, we don't care.
They don't care.
I was like, close the border, blow the bridge, because I live right on the border. I'm like, we need to shut this down.
Yeah,
right
for
now.
real, man.
We don't need these people in our state,
It's full of people from Chicago anyway. I promise you.
I don't think so.
No?
Those look like Wisconsinites. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could definitely tell a cheesehead, I guess.
It's hard to tell, but those people were from Wisconsin. They were diehard Wisconsin. I'm like, okay, so we're not even going to do a mask then, and you don't care, you're just out there. So you don't know any old people. Your parents are dead. You don't care about the rest of the world.
Right. I mean, look.
You're just thinking, I could survive this if I get it.
Fine. Try it. Be my guest.
Right. Yeah, but what about the rest of the people you're going to take down with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the makeup of that state and the demographic, and you can figure that out. But I won't say anything else. But let's talk about comedians, dude. Who's your favorite comedians? Because I like to me, your comedy is like it's a clean comedy, but it's definitely got an edge to it, And some of my favorite comedians were like that. I have like Rodney Dangerfield and Chevy Chase when he was funny, and Gary Shandling. Like they all had edge, but they were mostly clean comics.
Right. I mean, my earliest impressions of comedy, were watching TV at home, a little black and white TV with the pliers that you use to change the channel. It was a rough life.
I remember that.
It was stuff like Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy and the not so much the Three Stooges. That wasn't my favorite, but Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. Watched a ton of that. All of those movies. Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. And then my first record album that I listened to comedy was Richard Pryor. Oh my God. I couldn't even listen to that at home.
Yep.
I had to go somewhere else and listen to that. That was amazing. Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and I watched a lot of these guys. Robin Williams was one of my loves in life, He was one of my biggest idols just because of all of his characters and his great improvisational skills. And then I'm a big fan of Dean Martin, man. I love the way he slide down that pole with a drink in his hand and a cigarette and do his variety show, And one of the best episodes I ever saw was with Bob Newhart. I loved him.
Oh, he was hilarious.
Great. Yeah, he did this improv scene with Dean Martin that was just fantastic.
Juan, did we lose Lucky? There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. And it's so much of what I remember, and a lot of new stuff today too. I mean, David Spade, he's been hilarious. Farley, all those guys from SNL, Adam Sandler. But as far as what molded me, I think it was my early stuff. Everything that was still in black and white. Yeah.
That's some of my favorite comedy. It was my favorite. That was probably my favorite era of comedy is the Dean Martin and Sinatra and the Rat Pack style of stuff and Variety, which is partially why I do this show. I do a lot of variety. There's a ton of things I do, and hopefully at one point I can get it all in one day and just do an 8-hour show and just have a bunch of different things,
Right.
you know. But that's the kind of stuff I loved, man. And Richard Pryor, of course, Eddie Murphy. I feel like
Oh my God.
that era between let's say, I don't know, 57, maybe even before that, Dean Martin and them guys were like, that was like the late 40s, right? Some of that stuff.
No, that was in the 60s.
Was it? Okay.
They were in the 60s.
So like that era is mid 60s up, I'll say till maybe 1990. Like there were so many comics and we had so much they got so much exposure due to cable and television expanding that we can't, well, you were a little before me, but we came up and were able to see all of that and mesh it all into a lot of stuff we see today. So
yeah, it's still in there. I mean, I used to love watching Andrew Dice Clay, and they just had him on TV the other day doing the NBC special, and he did a set just like he would do a normal set. And I thought he was one of the best segments that they had on there. Dion Cole was on there. He was really funny.
That kid's hilarious.
You had other guys that just didn't do anything for me. Howie Mandel
Never.
did his little thing.
Never.
It wasn't really funny.
He's sober, and he's not funny sober.
Yeah, I just love doing comedy. Just making people laugh and getting that reaction from somebody that is natural. And they're not forcing it. They're literally just laughing. And it's kind of a reaction to what you're doing.
Right.
And to be able to do that, to me, is the hardest form of entertainment. But it's just a joy. The energy I get back from that is hard. It's really good. It's just trying to see where we go from here. I sent you a clip of me when I did a Gilda Radner's Laugh Fest.
Yep.
And that place was packed, man. Almost 300 people in that room.
Yeah, I played a small clip from it earlier.
Oh, okay, cool. And then I'm wondering, like, when is that going to happen again?
Oh, I know.
What is the new next for stand-up comedy? Is it the only way to be famous now is TikTok?
Yep.
And that's it.
Yes, but I got a couple questions for you for what you're doing in the future. You have some really cool stuff, but since we're talking about TV and Dean Martin, let's talk some fashion. So I've worked Nordstrom for like 10 years and have really gotten into like specific cuts of shirts and suits and ties and getting into stuff that make an outfit pop. You know what I mean? I hear you're pretty big into fashion as well.
I went to Catholic school for 12 years, and from the first grade, you're wearing a shirt and tie,
Right.
Albeit a clip-on, but in high school, having to wear like a jacket, a shirt and tie, and pressed clothes, and polishable shoes. They were very strictly enforced. So I worked as a stint in Wall Street, pre 9/11, before I came out here. And it was always dressing up. So, and I work in the business world where I call on professional people. So when I started doing comedy, I just treated it like the same way I would with my normal job. I'm presenting in front of people and I need to look good. And if I'm going to be in front of you, I believe that a comic should be at the level of dress as the establishment is, or slightly higher than everybody else. I don't like rolling up like I just rolled out of bed. And so for me, it's mental, right? So I don't want anything taking attention away from what I'm saying. I need people to focus on me. So the better I look, then that all goes away. If my shirt's rumpled or my pants are stained or my shoes are unpolished, that's what people focus on and start thinking, instead of focusing on what you're doing. I don't know. It's just
that's right,
a
man.
Pet peeve of mine.
And it's funny you said all of that, because when I was working at Nordstrom, that's the same thing they used to say. Like, you dress slightly better than the rest, and stay focused on keep people focused on what you're on you and not what you look like. As
Right.
far as keeping things perfect, and you seem to be a really particular guy, and when it comes to everything. So even I'm gonna check out your
Much
food,
to my family's
right?
dismay.
Probably, but it helps, and that's the type of thing that works. Like you mentioned that you could tell you notice how people react to you when you're on stage, and you took that opportunity when you noticed it to hone in on it and polish it, and that's part of like what it takes. Like you have to be particular about what you're doing because nobody else is going to be particular about you, I guess.
Right. I mean, for me, that's I just like to dress up. I just bought a new pair of leopard kind of shoes, kind of pony hair leopard.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks so nice, but I have no place to wear that. My birthday's this weekend. I guess I'm just gonna float them around the house with my pajamas now.
yeah, man. At least
Right. Do something nice, but let's see. It's like my wardrobe is like I've collected over so many years. I have to keep donating clothes and trying to buy more clothes. But as you know, that is not is a very expensive little habit.
that is true, and I want to talk about suit fits right now because so 3 years, 4 years ago, I was wearing regular fit suits, and then all of a sudden, slim fit came out, and now I got like 6 suits I can't even wear anymore because I have to wear slim fit suits now.
Yeah, I took if they're fashionable suits, I took them. Find yourself a nice tailor, and he can retrofit your suits. Kind of like he can cut them down a little bit, taper them in a little more, bring the sleeves up a little.
Ah,
So I did that with a couple of my suits, and then until I bought some more slim fit suits. But definitely, like some people are going crazy, like their suits are so short that you can see your back pocket. I'm
yes,
like, nah.
right.
That's a bit much, brother. It looks like your back pocket is in your back. No, it still be classic but
Hmm.
stylish.
Well, you,
That's what I did, and now they're moving towards the 2-button 6. So
ah,
they're going away from the 2-button, and now you see a lot of 2-button 6. So it's the double breasted with the 2 buttons
mhm.
that you button. So now I gotta wait to pick up a couple of
That's
those.
right. And I saw that too this Christmas when I was shopping. I bought a suit and I saw the double breasted, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. I'm gonna have to change suits
Right.
again."
Right. A little bit of mix of everything is what you should have, but everything is very slim and tapered cut right now, which keeps you like, you got to stay in shape,
Keeps you
right?
in shape. You get that right, especially out here. I can't be
No,
running around out here looking all sloppy.
no, not out there. You aren't eating enough artichoke and bean sprouts if
Right.
you're fat.
Yo, that's funny. I have been eating a lot of tofu and sushi, and
Ugh, yuck. Not a lot of sushi out here, man. I'm landlocked,
yeah.
so I eat sushi is like at my own risk. How
Oh,
much do you really
don't
like
do it. Yeah, I'm
sushi?
not doing it in Chicago. I was there last summer, and I went to Benihana's. I had sushi at Benihana's, but I had like the salad, the shrimp salad or something. I didn't get any of the raw stuff. I don't trust it.
Yeah, the original hibachi place, Benihana's,
Right.
like where the North Shore goes for all their birthdays and stuff like that.
Exactly. I went for happy hour.
Nice, nice.
But
Yeah, no, it's
yes, fashion's huge, man, and it's going to be funny to see what it's going to look like post COVID. Really, like, are people going to be wearing suits anymore? Or is wearing plastic going to be the new normal? Like fake leather plastic stuff? Like I don't know.
we're already there. I mean, they all
Latex.
have the faux, yeah, the latex, the faux leathers and the faux suede that they have out there. There's a lot of fake stuff. I don't know. I'm talking to designers right now to see if color palettes are going to change, to see if people are looking for more cleanability in their fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to wipe the COVID off stuff.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, it was like your new metal clothes, all shiny. You know.
Oh,
You look like
right.
you're walking around like a big refrigerator.
Yes, dude. That wearable steel. Yes.
Right, with your reflective surfaces and stuff like that. I don't really know what people are gonna be, or like very fancy pajamas now. You know, so you could take calls, video calls while still being in the luxury of your own home.
I like the sound of that. Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, man. Right now I'm in my workout clothes. I was gonna ride before you called, but now I'm gonna wait till after this call. I'm gonna do a nice little hour ride and finish watching The Last Dance, which I recorded.
Oh yeah, I have to finish those last ones too. Yeah.
Oh man, that's been so good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I can't believe there's been no sports on television. That's like,
you know what? I was telling my friend yesterday that I would literally watch bird watching if they put that shit on ESPN right now.
Right, bird watching. I've been doing a lot of that outside. You know, that's funny, but you know, just the scope of money that's not being made in professional sports between the television and the gambling and all of that stuff, man. It's the toll has got to be huge.
Yeah. Oh, it's big. The monetary damage right now is uneven. They can't even fathom it. Like, we won't know.
Right.
What's Christmas going to look like is what I'm thinking. Like, that's the scary part.
Right. Am I going to go to a concert? Oh, I mean, if they get a cure, right? If they get some kind of vaccine, this is all over. Like I told you, people are going to be like, yeah, don't have to. I've seen guys walk out the bathroom without washing their hands. I'm like, dude, disgusting.
Well, that's before COVID, I would wash my hands before I pee. Like, I don't touch myself with dirty hands. I don't touch my face most of the time. And I used to catch the train to work, and I would be the weirdo standing in the corner with my hands in my pocket, not touching anything on a train.
Right. Don't put your hands on the like the escalator.
No.
Or, you know, I'm not a big touchy person.
No.
Yeah. Now even less so. Right. So I love putting my hands in my pocket.
Yes. But before that was frowned upon.
Because I like touching myself.
Get your hands out of your pocket. You look lazy. That's what I used to
do. Right. I just like touching myself.
Right. Well, there's a hole in one of these.
Play a little pocket pool, you know.
Just a little.
No, it's gonna. You're right. I bought myself a little ping pong net at home to play at the kitchen table. You know, that's been fun. I mean, what are you doing to stay busy during all this time?
This is the only thing I've been doing is this radio show and planning every day a different show, and just trying to stay fresh by like not watching the news and just being outside and seeing people and just being with my thoughts. And it's allowing me to, since I'm sitting at home all day with nothing but my thoughts, of course, it's allowing me to express them a little more. Because before this, I was working a lot. I had 5 jobs, dude. I was working I was coaching high school basketball. I was
that's so funny, sis.
At Nordstrom. I was working at a high school, and that was just normal. That's part of the normality in Los Angeles, is having 4 or 5 jobs.
I guess much respect on that, man. It just reminds me of an old, I think it was SNL or Dan Aykroyd. How many jobs?
Oh, that's right. That was no, that was in Living Color. That was the Wayans bro. Oh, you lazy man. You only got 6 jobs.
Right. That's exactly what that reminded me of. That's funny. I loved In Living Color, man. That was good too.
Yeah, that was one of so I was a young kid when that came on. And my mind was blown. I was like,
oh, God, Fire Marshal
fucking Bill.
You know, Jim Carrey was supposed to, I think he tried out for SNL. I'm glad he didn't make it on there.
Me too, man.
Oh, my God. That was such a funny show. That was a good show.
Yeah, they needed him on that show.
It's funny you say that because I'm a traveler, so I handle the entire Midwest. I do a lot of traveling. Maybe I don't know. I'm I'm out of the house 60% of the time. This is the first time in like 30 years of having this job that I've ever been home straight for over 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, not going anywhere, no plane, no driving. I mean, I drive a lot, the whole Midwest. So this has been a definite time to reflect, but it made me realize that I'm not an extrovert. I'm apparently an introvert.
Yeah.
I love being alone. I love being like just staying here and not having to socialize or go out. It's actually being a comedian and being a salesman. At times it becomes exhausting because you're always on.
Yep.
You're always having to deliver or entertain or present, or you're always on, selling or doing comedy. So to be here, quiet in your house, it's just almost. And I'm still working. I'm still working very hard, but it's just different. And I wonder how long this format's going to last because I don't mind it. I don't mind not having to drive hundreds of miles
Right.
to go see customers if I could do it from my own home.
Well, if you think of it that way, you think of how much money that your company is saving by not sending you on the road, not having you drive, not having to give you a stipend for gas or food. Do they go back to that when it becomes normal? Like, or do they do the same thing as like as soon as 9/11 happened, nobody could have corporate parties or Christmas parties. And then after everything got okay, still been doing it.
Right. Well, for me, I pay all of my own expenses. So I know exactly what it costs to travel, stay in hotels, and, buy people lunches or take them out to dinner or drinks, all that socializing that you do to develop relationships. I'm not doing. Granted, the industry is right now at a standstill. Well, not totally a standstill, but pretty low key right now
Right.
till everybody figures out what's going on. But it's not bad. And to say, much to my wife and my wife's credit, I mean, we haven't killed each other.
Yeah.
We're really getting along. This has been a real test for us,
And that's
I
funny.
don't think in my whole marriage I've been home this long, man. We have not killed each other and we're still like each other. So I gotta say that's not bad.
That's pretty strong,
That's
bro,
not bad.
because domestic violence numbers are way up right now.
I heard that's really sad, man, because these people have no safe havens to go. They have to, live and be locked up with their abusers. It has to be torture. I feel so bad for those people, children being abused and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's it. A lot of people are struggling, man. Not everybody has a nice space to hunker down in.
No, and not everybody's getting paid to stay home like we are.
Correct. Correct. Not everybody can work from home.
Right.
And they have to be out there risking their lives, to put food on the table for their family and stuff like that. And I feel for them.
Yep.
I really do, especially with the schools being locked down. I mean, a lot of these people don't understand. A lot of these kids, their best meals are at school. Their lunch, their breakfast that is supplied by the school, that is probably the most nutrition they get all day, unfortunately, for a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I was one that lived off summer lunches. My parents were poor. I remember getting those bologna sandwiches wrapped in cellophane with that little thing of milk. I would take it home, right? I don't want to eat it right now. I take it home and I take the bologna out and I would fry it up, bro, until that thing puckered up.
Yes, sir.
And then I would eat it, Man, the little cereal boxes they give us in the morning.
Yeah, I remember those.
Apple juice and milk, right? And you pour your milk in that little box. That was my breakfast. And during those times, I remember because that was our meals. If we missed getting like one of those free meals, we were toast.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that
So
too.
I totally understand that.
Well, was that here? Because I know you're from New York. Was that in New York or Chicago?
No, that was in the Bronx. That was in the Bronx. I grew up during the 1960s and 70s. And 80s, I guess, in the Bronx. I lived pretty much in the same area, the South Bronx. They used to call it Fort Apache because during the 1970s they tried to burn down the whole Bronx. It was a whole political thing. I don't want to get into that whole thing, but if you ever want to learn about the Bronx, there's two great books that I read. One of them was about Robert Moses, that racist guy that kind of built a lot of big structures in New York, like Jones Beach
Right.
and a lot of the highways and the Hudson River Reservoir and all that stuff. And then a book that I read recently was called Ladies and Gentlemen.
You blanked out. Dang, it happened.
Those were famous. Yeah, that was famous words by Howard Cosell during the 1977 World Series the Yankees are playing in. It was the first time they had like a helicopter shot of the stadium, and right behind the stadium in the Bronx, like several, I don't know, half a mile away, you could see like this big warehouse fire.
What?
And
I'm gonna look that
yeah,
up.
and then Howard Cosell said, focused on the year 1977, and it told the story of New York City. A couple of big things happened. They talked about Reggie Jackson, Billy Martin, that whole thing during 1977. The Yankees winning the World Series. They had the great big blackout in 1977.
Summer of Sam.
Yeah, and they also had the Summer of Sam. And Mayor Koch was about to be elected. So they had all these big things happening that year, and this book really just focuses about all of that and what was going on. And it's nice to read that, because after living through all that, to actually read the history of it and what actually was going down, because you're a kid, you don't know about all the politics and everything that's happening.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But to read afterwards, and whew, my God, that was a good book. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I grew up some rough times, but loving parents, and I lived on one block, and I think that's probably what saved our lives.
That's dope, man. Yeah, man. I mean, growing up hard, it molds you like into the diamond that you are. Like, you're a piece of coal, and then hard is just hard. Life is hard, and like,
yep.
There's most people not gonna get the cuts to or the cheats to jump in front of the line. Like, you have to work hard for everything. And
it's hard, man. And a lot of it really, to my testament, went to some good schools. My parents worked 2 jobs to send me to Catholic high school and then education after that. And it really is about luck and education and deciding what you want to do.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I met you through Vince. So going back to comedy again, because I remember you guys did this special, 5 the Hard Way, which is
5 the Hard Way.
Kind of what I got this playlist from, which is all Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Rat Pack. And it's just a show where you have a couple guys, a bunch of different backgrounds on stage doing comedy. You probably didn't have live music, but everybody dressed up and stuff like that. If you could talk about that concept, like, that's just a great concept.
Yeah, I had come up with this concept, and because it was Vince and I were friends, and then we also had other friends in the comedic area. Steve Rinaldi, who now lives in Philadelphia, Mickey Housley, who lives in Houston right now, and Manny Acosta, who lives in Chicago. So it was like basically we had one Dominican, one Puerto Rican, one black guy, one Italian guy, and then we had Manny, who's a half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. So you throw on some suits, and I don't know if people play craps, but the hard way is when you get a double. And so calling us 5 the Hard Way was just, I thought it was just kind of a cool name that bucked whatever craps had to do with it, because it was just the 5 of us, and each one of us had a different style of comedy, and we were from different backgrounds, and we most everyone's sets were clean.
Right.
I mean, I'm clean. The other guys seem to have a hard time not using the F-bomb.
Right.
Pick a different word, man. Pick a different word. But we had some good shows. I'm thinking about doing another one, but we're all kind of scattered right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's a great concept. And you're working on something else new too right now, right? You want? Is it far enough along where you can talk about it?
Well, I'm trying to come up with a concept of doing something virtually, and which involves a prize wheel. Which I don't know if it's going to be trivia. It's something where people or comics can win prizes and just try to get a following that way. I still haven't worked out the platform for it. I'm trying. Right now, I'm just using it to give away prizes to my customers that show up for my virtual presentations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So maybe if I can come up with an idea that's not so much trivia based, or maybe something,
Well, yeah, dude, that's perfect though. Like, this is a time to try everything, throw everything against the wall, and see what sticks. And I mean, you're continuing to live, and that's what you should do. Don't stop. Just keep going, even if you have to keep going from inside.
From inside, man. The new next. What is the new next?
What is the new next? We're all
looking for.
Exactly. Well, man, I really appreciate the time you spent. That's been an hour. Intern Juan's telling me.
Has it been an hour already? Wow.
Yeah, Intern Juan's telling me you got to go.
Right.
He's getting emails from your people. So we're gonna look, man. I want to have you back up here if we can do it. If you can get the spin the wheel going, and we can work out a show on here for it. Let's try it out. Like, I'll be the test dummy for you.
All right, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Much success to you on this Tony Frost channel.
Thanks,
I really
man.
like it. I like being at home and being on, and I'll tell all my friends about it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You want to yell out your social media stuff real quick?
Oh yeah, you could. Most of my handles are under AKA Lucky Luciano, so also known as Lucky Luciano. You could find my YouTube, my Insta, and my Facebook. You could find me there, and you could reach out to me and look at my comedy. I put up some clips, so if you want to check that out.
All right, Lucky. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by. Everybody, this is Tony Frost with my guest, Lucky Luciano. If you're just tuning in or you missed it, go back and listen to the show on demand at Tony Frost Radio. Listen out this week. I have tomorrow's music. I'll have a young kid up here that knows music dating back to the 60s, and he's really knowledgeable. So we'll talk music and play some new music, mix in some old. Wednesday, I have my Wednesday check-in with Vince Acevedo. Everybody, he calls a check-in once a week. Thursday, I'll be doing movies. I do this movie night, Lucky, where me and my buddy, Jigga J, sit and watch movies, and then we talk about the movie while we're watching it on the radio.
Ooh, nice, man.
So we do that.
Well, check out that The Wrong Missy.
Yes, we're going to watch that. So we have that Thursdays and Fridays. Me and my buddy JW23 do a week wrap-up where we do news. We play some music, and we just talk and talk about what's happening in LA. But thanks again, Lucky. I'll let you go, man. Everybody keep listening to Lucky's classic music mix here. I think you're going to like it. I'll keep it on all day. And this is Tony Frost. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
All right, stay frosty, man.
That's right.